Hello, my name is Seamus Kennedy. I'm a member of the Kills Men's Shed in Kill, County Kildare. Our club in Kill is set in the grounds of the Sapling school next door to St. Brigid's Church. Some time ago, Gary McAuliffe, a member of the shed, suggested a sensory garden for the Sapling school, who would benefit, and the staff and pupils. Perhaps our shed could help. We discussed our ideas with the principal, Alan Brennan, and thought it was a lovely idea, and he gave us the go-ahead. Sadly, poor Gary McAuliffe suggested the idea died recently, and he didn't get to see his proposal come to fruition. To take the idea a step further, we approached our local heritage environment expert, Paddy Madden, about the requirements for the sensory garden around the beginning of 2023. Paddy Madden and his brother Morris came up with the design for the garden. The shed members then discussed the design and came up with a plan. Also happening during this time, Paddy Walsh from the Kill Tidy Town and with the Kills Men's Shed came up with the idea of building a polytunnel close to the school for the purpose of for a garden and school for the Sapling school, so that the pupils could grow fruit, plants and vegetables. Shed members Tom Connolly, Tom Carey and Joe Donoghue started the work on the foundation and sidewalls of the polytunnel. Tom Carey and Joe Donoghue did all the timber work and covered the polytunnel. This project was a fantastic success and is used by the pupils from the Sapling School and the Kildare towns. The polytunnel was officially handed over to the Sapling School around the end of May 2024. Meanwhile, George Morrison, Tom Carey, Joe Donoghue and Michael O'Malley started to work on the sensory garden, beginning with measuring and making out the pathways in front of the club. As well as the shed members who worked on the project, I would like to say a big thank you to John Ryan, our local haulage contractor. From the word go, John Ryan immersed himself in this worthwhile project, not only in supplying all materials and labour, but also gave his time in making sure that everything was finished to a very high standard to the benefit of the school and its pupils for years to come. Also, I would like to thank Chris Fury, the owner of our local Eurospar supermarket, and Paul McKenna from W. Howard Kildare for donations towards the plants and the garden ornaments. We now have in place a sensory garden that will benefit the pupils of the Sapling School and the Kills Men's Shed are pleased to be able to give their time, talents and skill to help others in our community. I will now hand over to George Morrison, Chairman of the Kills Men's Shed.
I would like to thank Seamus for his kind words and for pulling it all together. When we started work on the sensory garden, our collective knowledge was about zero. But we had the Madden brothers' excellent presentation on what a sensory garden should look like, and in our limited space between the man's shed and the premises and the main road. We learned that the grass had to be removed, and with it the remains of 3 flower boxes that had got a bit dilapidated. The tree in the centre of the garden is a magnificent white bean. It was pruned and generally cleaned up and now seen in all its glory as the centrepiece of the garden. The general clean-up and indeed the layout of the garden as you see it today could not have been done without the assistance of John Ryan's truck driver, Porrig, and the mini digger driver, Robert. They did sterling work. Not only did they do the job, but they supplied the stone and timber that you see. They also filled the planters with soil. The the boundary of the garden has been enhanced by the addition of a fine fence which provides security and safety for all who use the garden. Our thanks to Alan Brennan for having put this in place. The planters will contain flowers to stimulate the 5 senses. They are taste, touch, sound, sight, and scent. We've actually made 6 planters, so a 6th scent will have to be figured out. Perhaps someone watching this video can tell us what we put in to represent a 6th sense. I would thank you very much for listening.
Where's the bread?
Thank you to the men's shed here for, well, especially for putting on such a lovely showing today and inviting us over to take part in the opening ceremony for the garden. It was really nice to have the children in here, in the garden and in here and mixing with everybody. It's a lovely opportunity for us to experience the men's shed here in the hospitality. But going back to the actual project itself, we are so lucky to have the men's shed on site. I mean, the garden speaks for itself because you can see how beautiful it is. But for anybody that remembers what was there and what's there now, I mean, the difference is huge. That was an area of the grounds that was unusable. We couldn't really access it at all. And now it's been opened up into this beautiful resource that's just on our doorstep. And along with the Polytunnel that was done last year, I mean, it's just a fantastic place for our children to be able to come. They want a brain break from the work inside, or they're outside and they're doing PE and they want to come over for a wander. It's just a free area for the children to enjoy, and we're just so lucky. And I just want to extend our thank you on behalf of the staff and the children. Thank you so much for all your work.